Hi everybody, happy Thursday. It's Allison Castle, holistic health coach, helping women who are battling the scale, the mirror, and food find harmony with their body and balance and fulfillment in their life. And I'm coming to you on Thursday, and I'm usually trying to post on Tuesdays, but this week has gotten away from me. So on Monday, a couple weeks ago, I mentioned that I was getting our house ready to put on the market. So on Monday, our house officially got listed for sale, and also on Monday, we closed on our new home. So right now we're the owners of two homes, which is a little daunting, a little overwhelming. Constantly trying to keep our current house clean, picked up, ready for showings. And then our new home that we purchased is a fixer-upper. So we're out there a lot doing all kinds of work to get that ready to move into. So amidst all this chaos, one thing that is really helping me stay grounded is something I get to do and something that I find is going to be a huge benefit when making this transition to this new home. And besides checking things off a to-do list, which is one of my absolute favorite things to do, I'm sure there's other people out there like that, and it's a to-do list, and checking things off is like a very therapeutic feeling. The other thing that I really love to do is clear the clutter. I love going through closets and drawers, anything, a lot of times our basement, just looking for things we don't need anymore, that are no longer useful, no longer serving us, and either donating them or, my favorite thing is to donate them, because I don't like to waste things if they can be used by somebody else. But just clearing out the space and getting organized is one of my favorite things to do. And with this move that we're going to be experiencing, and we're already lucky enough that we can start taking things over to this new house, we're really getting to work on that. I can go through closets. We've lived in this current house for 15 years, so we've accumulated a lot of stuff. So when we think about clearing the clutter, it's like I said, it's a very therapeutic thing. It's a very healing thing for a lot of people too. And when we think about clutter, it doesn't just have to be physical clutter. It can be emotional clutter, and it can be mental clutter as well. I also like to throw in there clutter in our schedules. How many times do we volunteer for things or sign up for things and our calendar is just jam-packed? How many times is that overwhelming and we don't leave any time for ourselves? And that's another area of our life that we can really look through and see what's serving us, what's useful, what's not anymore, and even clear out our schedule as well. And clutter is kind of defined as anything that's clogging up space in our life. And a lot of times when we have our space clogged, our energy's clogged, and we aren't accomplishing the things we want to accomplish, it kind of leaves us at a stuck point. So I'd like to give you some tips on what I'm doing to remove some of the clutter in my life, and hopefully you can apply it to your life as well. One thing I want to say before I get into tips is I'm going to read you, so there is a man named Peter Walsh, and he's one of Oprah's favorite organizers. And he said, if you have a desire, if you're looking to accomplish something, now things that come to mind for me are like financial security, if you want to lose weight, if you want to build your business. So his opinion is, instead of going and grabbing the latest, greatest self-help book, clear the clutter and get organized. And that'll get you started on the path to whatever you desire. And I feel really strongly that that is true. So, like I said, for myself, I find it really healing and really freeing. So some of the things I am currently doing to get ready to move into this house and clearing the clutter in the process is, as we're going through, we are doing small chunks at a time to help avoid overwhelm. So whether you pick a drawer or a shelf, if you're feeling ambitious, pick a whole closet or pick a whole room and go piece by piece and evaluate and decide what things are working for you, what things aren't working for you anymore. And as you're going through each of those spaces, get that space done before you move on to the other. Get it completely clean, completely organized. So one area at a time is a way to avoid overwhelm. So that can be really helpful. The second thing is like, how do I decide what to get rid of and what to keep? And the biggest thing I can say is it something you still use? Is that something that's still serving you? And you can use, is it still serving you when you think of mental and emotional and schedule clutter as well? You know, if you still use it, that really seems to apply more to physical clutter. But, you know, you can even think of clutter being in relationships too. Is this relationship still serving me? Is this activity still serving me? Is this thought or this mindset I have still serving me? So one big thing is, it still serving you? Is it still something that's usable? Number one. The second thing, when we're looking at clutter, and we'll go back to physical clutter, is it something that you love? Now, if it's something that you love and you don't use that often, maybe it has some sort of sentimental value to you, then sure, by all means, keep it. And then the third piece is, does it still work? That seems like kind of a no-brainer, but I definitely have been guilty of keeping things around that don't work with the thought of, oh, I can find somebody to fix this, or I'll find somebody to give this to that likes tinkering around with this type of electronics or something, and I end up holding on to it for so much longer than I should. So you think about things like, there are studies that have shown, we'll think about your closet and your clothes for a minute, that the average person only wears 11 outfits and rotates those 11 outfits every week, from week to week. So, you know, there's maybe a lot of room for decluttering in your clothing closet. In our home office, I don't know how many pens you have. I end up taking pens home from everywhere I go. You know, whatever business or bank or whatever that hotel that I happen to be at, I don't know how many pens I've accumulated. But, you know, realistically, how many pens do we need? Maybe 6 to 10 in our household. Think about old owner's manuals of maybe appliances you don't even have anymore, or boxes maybe you've kept around because there's a product warranty, which nowadays are just so short. You know, if you keep the box around, maybe you have boxes accumulated somewhere that really aren't useful anymore. Those things are pretty easy to just recycle. So you can look at your bookshelf. Are there books on there that you're never going to read again? Those are awesome to donate to your local library. Or maybe you have on the corner, at least in the town that I'm in, they have these little libraries. They're just small they look like little houses, and you can stick books in that you don't want anymore. Really cool concept. And somebody else can get the joy and usage out of those books. So, you know, if you really think about what's in your house, there are so many things that probably don't meet those three questions. You know, is it something you still use? Is it something you love? And is it something that actually works? So, and then the third thing is, where in the world do I take all this stuff? What do I do with all this stuff once I've decided I don't want it anymore? Donation is awesome. You know, most of us are lucky enough to have something like a Goodwill or a Salvation Army somewhere nearby, and most people can get use out of a lot of the things that you probably don't have use for anymore, as long as they're in good working order, fairly decent shape. Another option is to sell things. There's like the Craigslist option, there's the Let Go app. A lot of people I've had luck selling things just on Facebook. You know, it gives you a little extra cash for whatever you don't need anymore. Another thing, you know, if it's really something that's not usable, really something that's in bad shape, go ahead and throw it away. Like for me, it's really hard to just throw something away because it feels like a waste. But sometimes it's necessary. And then whatever you do keep, organize it. It makes you feel so much better when you have things organized. You can easily find them. They just look nice and neat. It's just it sounds kind of crazy. It sounds maybe a little OCD, but it's a very freeing feeling to have your space organized and looking clutter-free. So I hope these tips are helpful. If you could relate, I'd love to have you comment below. What area of your life do you feel needs a little decluttering? Where are you feeling that excess of stuff? And I would love to hear below where you're feeling that and what your plan is to help you declutter that space. And if this would be helpful to some of your friends or family, go ahead and share this post and let them know how decluttering can really open up possibilities, be very freeing and an opening experience. So it's been awesome chatting with you guys today, and I will check back in next week. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday and Friday into your weekend. Bye.